Okay. So here I'm happy to introduce Dorina, this amazing, inspiring woman today. It's the first live for we two,
Yeah.
both of us. So we are experimenting a new way of communication and see your interaction would be a good experience for us. So, Dorina, can you tell us more about you?
Let me see if I can change a bit the light here. If it's getting
It's
better a
good.
little bit.
It's good. It's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, about myself, what do you like to know then? I'm an IT professional by background. I studied mathematics, computer science. I spent my entire life, over 25 years in computer science, well, IT consultant, till, at the end, at the beginning of 2024, when I decided to take a new journey. Well, I'm still into the IT space, but I created naturalsleep.shop, which is kind of a platform, a marketplace with all the innovations existing on the market these days for elevating people's sleep issues.
And what led you to create that natural sleep? You were in IT and EI, another field
Yeah.
completely, and then you changed, and maybe you are doing it in the same time. But what led you to that new experience, adventure?
Well, very few people knows that I was struggling with sleep issues for over 12 years.
Oh.
So I had that kind of insomnia. I was on sleeping pills for 12 long years.
So it
And
came really from your own pain.
exactly, it's my personal story. That's why it's very close to my heart, this project. And I do have other projects because this is not the only one I'm running these days. But this one attracts me more and more like a magnet, and I'm spending more and more hours in this because it's so close to my heart. So yeah, at the beginning of 2024, the sleeping pills that I was using for over 12 years now stopped having any effect on me. Even when I triple the dose, and for a few nights I went over 5 times the dose, and I still couldn't sleep. And well, that was the wake-up call that I should do something different, or well, reinvent myself from scratch and take a new path. Although 12 years I tested many solutions, and I tried many products, many solutions. None of them kind of put me out completely out of the sleeping pills.
But did you find some help around you? No professionals or friends?
Well, it's a good questions, but kind of difficult in the same time. When I went out without sleeping, even tripling the dose, I just discovered that there is one of the best kind of somnologues that exists in Belgium that lives in Brussels. So I contacted him, and he did a sleep study, the second sleep study, because the first one was like 10 years ago, 10 years before that. When I did my first sleep study, it turned out that I have nothing kind of physiologically like sleep apnea or restless legs or any other conditions like this that prevents me sleeping. So now I did the second time this sleep study with this doctor in Brussels, and turned out that I was waking up 46 times in a night, and I was sleeping less than 4 hours in total. And they discovered also they have this hyperventilation from extreme anxiety. So basically I was breathing even at the night like I was running continuously. And well, he just sent me back home, and he says you have to learn to sleep. He didn't advise me actually to go off of sleeping pills. He just said, well, you take 30 days off. And I said, well, I have all kind of projects ongoing. I cannot just stay out of the workplace. I said, no, this is serious. You have to go out of the workplace at least for 1 month, and then you come back in 1 month and we'll see. And I was seeking for the advice. Well, it took me like 6 weeks to find one psychologist that is specialist in sleep, in burnout, because I was kind of put it in burnout condition these days, and also speaking English. So for 6 weeks, I couldn't have much of help. And in these 6 weeks, I was also deciding to go off of sleeping pills. Now I have my family, yes, because after 3 days of not sleeping at all, I was thinking that, well, I was reading on the internet that when people go off this sleeping pills that I was using, they usually go into the delirium. And one night at 11 p.m., 11 p.m. 11 in the evening, I was just texting my parents and I said, well, if tomorrow morning you see me that something strange happens with me or speaking something strange, please take me to the emergency room. And my parents 1 hour later was knocking at my door and they were saying, well, you cannot stay here alone. We have to stay with you. So yeah, I had the support of my family.
Yeah.
But
it's more and more common problem, the sleep, because of the stress in which we are living. And maybe we women, we are more exposed to the stress. We are more sensitive to the stress, and many studies proves that we are our way of explaining things and understanding things make us more exposed to stress, and then problem of sleep also. So, and but not everybody turns the pain into something, but you did it. So what was the transforming point? What did change everything after your relief, and then what happens? Tell us more.
well, the pain now. These days I'm romanticized. You know, I create a romance almost story around my past history with the sleeping pills. But it was quite tough journey, and it was not easy to rewire your brain, your body, to sleep again naturally. You know, and I was thinking, if I nail down this problem now, and I solve it, and I will. Manage to sleep again drug free, even 1 hour or few hours a night, I would say, well, I will do everything that stays within my power. Then no one else should pass through this, because, as you said, as I just said, well, to have support is so difficult these days. And for 12 years, I was kind of, I didn't even know where to search at some point. You know, when you're sleep deprived, you kind of search for a while, for a couple of hours, for a couple of days, and then you eventually find some relief solution, and you let it go, and then you start again. Once again, we are totally sleep deprived. You start again to search, but at some point you don't even know what else to search for, where to start your searching process for new solutions or for something that should work for you.
Yeah.
But some point in these 12 years, I even reached to Harvard Medical School, thinking that might have some innovation. I was ready to, start using solutions which were not even validated at that point, because I was so desperate. And I was, I
Anything.
didn't even know anything. I didn't know even in which direction to go more, because I tried Ayurvedic, I tried, acupuncture, I tried, you name it. I was twice in India just to solve this problem. I did meditation. You name it, using dark rooms, cold showers in the morning, exposure in the morning to the sun, all kind of morning rituals, then evening rituals. I tried. I kind of, my entire life was, driven by this
Yeah.
issue that I had.
And
And
then
when well, when I saw that I come back out of the pills and it's possible, that gave me hope. So, and then I knew a lot of people being on sleeping pills and having more or less the same troubles. And I know that they are convinced that once you're on that type of addiction, you cannot come out of the addictions. And I just proved that that's possible. So now what I'm doing, I'm advocating just for drug-free sleep solutions, because I'm the living proof that that's possible. So even though every day people come to me with stories that I'm using sleeping pills for 20 years or 15 years, and I don't think that I can go out of them, well, I'm the living proof that that's possible. It was easy for me to drop off on coffee. It was easy to drop off on sugar. Those are my kind of the only addictions I had. I never drink alcohol or smoking, so I didn't struggle with that kind of addictions. But yeah, out of the sleeping pills was kind of the most difficult addictions to get out of it.
bravo. Yeah, it's not easy. I understand it fully. Uh-huh. And then now your project, it's just, can you explain more about natural sleep?
Oh, definitely. So at Natural Sleep, we try to combine all kind of available solutions, starting from bedroom essentials through all the innovations that these days appeared, and most of them they are three years old because they are all kind of in the startup mode. These companies that they release all kind of devices. Back 10 years ago when I started, or 12 years ago, then I started having these sleep issues, none of those existed. But these days, almost every day, I'm kind of discovering new products and signing new partnerships with all kind of suppliers worldwide. In just 1 year, because now we are 1 year old, we sign up with 27 partners worldwide. So we offer these products. That's one thing. We try to be one hub, one single place where you can find anything that you might need in terms of products. So it's easy to discover for yourself. But then we have offer also services because at some point our clients were saying, well, products are good, but we should have kind of a mechanism or some kind of framework to take us from stage A of sleep deprivation to stage B, to take us on that journey. So I was not specialized in that. I'm not qualified in any medical field. I have my IT background, so I could not support all these clients that we had, and that was the moment when I was thinking to involve all the specialists that I used in my journey, but not only them, even other people that I'm discovering every day with their own talents and their own holistical approach. So our kind of not innovation, but how we stand up in front of our competition, let's say, we try to combine all kind of disciplines in one place. People love to stay these days in a segregation, mode. Doctors just could with the doctors and within their academic environment,
Yeah.
Then we have this coaches and or other holistical specialists that they will stay segregated by themselves, or there are other shops like ours where we have just devices for relaxation and for stimulating your body in order to kind of put you in the sleep condition. So our approach is holistical. We try to combine all the available solutions and all the specialties that can have something to say, and well, include all kind of paradigms and all kind of talents that those people have in order to support anyone in who is sleep deprived.
It's amazing and impressive in the same time, because you could, like you are joining entrepreneurship, the technology, and the way to, society in the end, meeting people and connecting with people with each other, I mean, professionals and healers, coaches, and this is very, helpful for the where we live now. I mean, we have problems that we didn't have years before, and needs like something innovative solutions. So you just said that you came from the background of IT and EI. This is something I know. These fields are two like male-dominated fields. So, did you felt like sometimes there is barriers that you faced in this background, this field?
I lost for a moment the connection, but I guess you're asking me if I felt exotic in the field of IT, right?
Yeah, yeah. As a woman.
As a woman, yeah. Well, when I was young and I was studying, I was in a class where we were half girls, half boys, for instance, in a high school. While I was studying, I was the second generation studying computer science in my high school back in Romania. And at that time, at that age, I was not conscious at all that this is going to be, or it is a male-dominated field. And also when I graduated from university, so my whole school, that perception didn't, existed for me. Even at the beginning in my career, when I started here in Romania, that was not really the case. But once I moved to Brussels, yes, in the Western countries, there I felt myself a little bit more exotic as with my IT background, because people were questioning, oh, have you really wrote code in your life? I mean, so yeah, I was writing code from scratch, everything. And these
They
days
didn't
it's
believe
easy.
you.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's a different perception. So indeed, in the Western countries, I kind of had that feeling that I'm more exotic as being woman and building from scratch an IT career. While I build it, step by step, and not join as other colleagues I had joining from other fields just because it was financially attractive to join AI space. But I was all my all the years I spent in there, starting with software developer, computer science teacher actually for a couple of years, then doing software development for many years, and then business analyst, functional analyst, and then project manager, program manager.
In
So till the
all your journey, did you felt like you needed sometimes to tone down your femininity or your softness in leadership when you are leading a project? How did you navigate, your feminism and your leadership?
Well, if indeed, well, when I arrived in Belgium, I was surrounded more by male professionals in IT field. Indeed, there was kind of, that gap, many women in our departments. But then I think I got used more to deal with their leadership style. And I didn't have that perception that I'm turning down anything from myself. But potentially, yeah, maybe I was kind of more assertive because of that. Yeah, potentially to survive in that kind of environment, yeah, I had to be a bit more assertive than
More like
exactly.
competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of also a bit of my character, because when I'm goal-oriented and driven by some sort of mission, then I'm kind of unstoppable. And that's, I think it's related to the masculine side of my character, but I feel like that's how I am, not necessarily that I'm turning down anything within my character or within my personality.
Great. So you are a successful woman, but what does success mean to you today? If you have to change, like define success to you today, what it would be?
Well, success at different stages of my life
Yeah,
meant different things.
right? It changed over the
It's,
years
it's
now, right?
exactly, it's evolving. So if I was young, I just wanted to have a degree and then to graduate in university, and I was kind of, you know, after that, running after that. Then, yeah, successful meant to run a team eventually, or to earn certain amount of money. I think these days, at my age, success means seeing that with your actions, with your activity, which is now this project with Natural Sleep, can influence or have some certain impact on other humans,
Yeah.
and I see that in the real life. I was in corporate many years and working for big pharma over 7 years. And indeed, that as macro scale, you would say, well, there too you help people because you create medication, you innovate in that space, and you still help people prevent disease or live longer. But at my level, by my activity, I haven't seen that, because I didn't have contact, for instance, with the patients, or I didn't have contact with the people that are really impacted by our activities. While in my little startup these days, my inbox is every day filled with stories from people that they cannot sleep, and they are telling me their stories, and I'm trying to help in that sense. I'm guiding them here and there, putting them in contact with a specialist, or telling them about the products that we have in there. And that's much more rewarding for me. And at this days, I think that's the success I'm seeking, and that's
Having
the
impact.
definition of success for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great.
And seeing that yeah, what you're doing is really bringing some sort of relief to other ones in need.
Perfect. And what kind of leader maybe you aspire to be? What can you tell us about your leadership? What do you want? How do you empower maybe others around you?
That's true, but what kind of leader I want to be these days? I think I'm trying to develop more my empathic side of me. I was, as I said, in corporate, you're very much driven by KPIs and very much driven by very abstract metrics.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
While these days, I think I want to, develop a different type of skill set in terms of leadership, being
Empathy,
empathic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and emotional maybe intelligence or so on.
Yes, that too, or compassion, I have one of the mentors that I'm working for 5 years now, who is both doctors and philosopher. So he was helping transforming me in this kind of, I'm a different person thanks to him, and I call him my spiritual father, if you want. And one day I asked him, what is compassion? And his answer was kind of, staying with me up to these days. He said, compassion is the capacity of a surgeon to cut in your best interest. So I think that's something that I want to, develop in my next career, to be able to develop my compassion for others and to be of use and of service for those who are in need, especially in my field now, sleep deprivation.
It's kind of empowerment too, if we are, more empathic and we can understand the person in
Mm.
front of us. It can be sometimes like life changing for the other person
Yeah,
in front, right?
I love a lot these days to be in contact with people. Yes, I was very, being an IT specialist, you just sit behind the computers and you're driven by very much abstract, notions, and you do not, relate that much. And maybe also I was a little bit introverted indeed, that contributed to, stay in my little pool. But now expanding that, it's so rewarding, and it's beautiful, and I love more of this.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. What's something, Dorina, tell us, you wish more women would believe about themselves?
Say it again, sorry.
What's something you wish women would believe about themselves?
Who would believe about themselves will
Yeah, because women are not all the same, and not all women will dare to do something for
mm.
themselves and dare to do projects and
And
develop.
that's absolutely fine. I mean, not everybody needs to be entrepreneur, not everybody needs to, we
Yeah,
are.
but it's about belief, Dorina, more than entrepreneurship. It's a belief in our abilities. The more than empowerment. It is just something that we can do, empowering about doing a business or doing something else. But it's a belief. No, you see what I mean?
Mm,
You see what I mean? I mean, what is inside, what happens inside that makes you uh, be an entrepreneur or something else, but the belief.
mm, mm. Well, I'm not that special in how to empower women, but yeah, I think if they are really seeking uh, to take a different journey, I think it's a good start to look inside, to have a honest conversation with yourself. That happened during the time when I was, not sleeping and transitioning. And I was thinking, well, why am I, now in this situation? So what brought me here, because it's you can blame anything from outside, but what is inside you that it's kind of stopping to or preventing me to bring the true Dorina outside of me, because I was
Mm,
having this feeling that the true value of who I am didn't show up yet. It's still, encapsulated somewhere deep inside because of scares, because of, my background,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
life, etc.
Mm.
Exactly. And yeah, I think it's everything. All the answers comes first from within. Looking deeply inside and trying to understand which are your strengths. Yeah, which qualities brought you the success that you were looking for yourself, um, up until that age, and try to you know uh, bring them back and make them shine as yeah, look within inside you. That's what I would say first, and capitalize on all your strengths. That's
Mm.
maybe sounds
Well,
cliche, and maybe I'm not the best explainer in that sense, but yeah,
no, you
that's
explained it very, very, very well. No problem. We got the point. Yeah. So tell us what's next for you and for Natural Sleep? What's your plan?
well, natural's label, we need to go global. That's one of the ambitions, to reach as many lives as possible. That's one thing. And then for me personally, now I'm preparing also a book about my 12 years of struggles, which I'm expecting to release somewhere in the fall. And then, yeah, we'll go with the flow. I think now we are already in the flow. We cannot give up. We are on a highway, so we
Perfect.
only can go um, in straight line.
Yeah, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for
Thank you
sharing your story
for
with us.
having me.
This is very impressive, inspiring, and I wish that this story will inspire at least one person, one
Yeah.
woman will believe in herself and recognize herself in your story and would not have a push to realize her dream. So it will be, like this life would be worth it.
Hmm.
And thank you very much for this intimate, exchange, and very powerful, insightful. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Dorina. Thank you for all the followers here that follow the discussion, for your interaction. And it's our first live, and we will be there for new lives coming. Wish you all the best, and bye bye.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye,
Hanene.
Dorina.
Thanks
Have
for
a nice
having me.
evening.
You
Bye bye.
too.